What's up, guys? It's Lauv. I just did an interview with the Zach Sang Show. We just talked about drugs and the internet, my life, puppies, and nipple hair. So watch it. Love you.
Let's do this. Zach Sang Show.
Myspace really did start as one of the main vehicles to get like a band out there.
Yeah, 100%.
Really was the launching pad for so many different artists. So you're 15 trying to hawk your music.
Yes.
We're talking about the Myspace tattoo. That's how this got started.
Yeah, because you have it behind your ear. And I was going to ask you if the face tattoo that you have in all the artwork was real.
No. That was just a joke.
Yeah, but this one's real.
Yeah, that one's real.
You have the Myspace logo behind your ear. So you're hawking these songs. What are these records about when you're 15?
I mean, they were still like love songs. Well, actually, I wrote one song called Wishful Thinking that was about how I felt like my career, like I was bummed that my career wasn't taking off, but I was 15. It was literally like, it was me like whining about it's so sad. It was so lame. But that was like, so basically I went through that whole era because it was like the era of like, you know, Owl City on Myspace, Never Shout Never, like all that kind of stuff.
Dude, Never Shout Never.
Like,
where is he at?
I don't know, but I was
him.
such a fan. Like I literally idolized people like that. And like, I don't know, Owl City's album, Maybe I'm Dreaming, is like I wrote a college essay about that album. That was before Fireflies.
How many times do you have to listen to their album to be able to write a whole college essay on it?
Dude, I listen to that album every single day of my life.
And what do you learn from it?
I mean, so his lyrics were so like abstract, right? Like random images that had nothing to do with anything a lot of the time, but they felt romantic in this very fantasy way, which I think is sort of like the hopeless romantic inside of me, like loved that so much because it was sort of like, it wasn't really about like a real tangible love. It was about like some type of love that was like dreamy and whimsical or whatever. And I loved that for whatever reason. And then I also just studied his production. Like I just thought like Adam was just such a producer genius. So I wrote an entire, I can't remember exactly what the essay was about, but it was one of my like, what was it, the Common App for college?
Yeah, the Common App. You would fill out one application. It would go to numerous different colleges.
Yeah.
They'd have their own essay questions sometimes.
Yeah.
Dude, like this, because you graduated from NYU.
Yeah.
You went the whole way through.
I did.
One of the rare gems in the music industry, he walked away with a degree.
I mean, I figured I had to do it because I was already 3/4 of the way through with college when I put out my first song, The Other. I was actually studying abroad in the Czech Republic at the time, which sounds so random, but it was amazing. And I actually, like, I shot my lyric video there and so on and so forth. And I got, like record labels started reaching out and, like, music publishers started reaching out. And I decided to sign a publishing deal at that time. But I was like, do I finish school? Do I not? But I was like, I got one more year left. And, like, all my best friends, like, I might as well just, like, enjoy it. And it's obviously, like, a really expensive school. And, like, I was fortunate enough to be able to go there and get an education. So I didn't want to just throw it away and be like, nah, I'm not going to finish, you know?
So that record that you shoot the lyric video in the Czech Republic, that gets you the publishing deal?
Yeah. So before that, so basically it was the MySpace artist project that I had, which I won't name because I don't want people looking at it. No, I'm just kidding. It's really sad though.
What was your name?
Okay, I'll just, whatever. Somersault Sunday. And a funny name for somebody who has a lisp to have so many S's. Somersault Sunday.
But like the cadence is the same as like Never Shout Never.
Exactly.
You know, the rhythm is
exactly.
It's there.
I didn't even think about that.
What's that name even mean?
I have no idea. Okay, it sounds so corny, but when I was about to put out my first song with that, I was like, what is it called? I guess it was just called Video Chat before it was FaceTime. What was it? Like
Skype, I guess?
No, but it was just like iChat or whatever. Anyways, doesn't matter. It's so irrelevant. I remember I was talking to my best friend and I remember I had this image of like these clouds. It sounds so corny and it is so corny. And then the name Somersault Sunday. And I was like, that's my band name. Everybody would spell it wrong. They would spell it like the season, the summer, but it was SOMERSAULT. You know what I'm saying?
Idiots.
Yeah, you gotta know. It's just gymnastics basics.
By the way, like the more I think about it, the more deep it gets. It's like the summer is so bright, and then salty is like a little bit of like rough around the edges, and then like what about Sunday? Right?
You're going way deep in there.
Sunday's a hard day of the week because it's a day where you don't have to do anything, but you're looking forward to having to do so much.
True.
So if I really break it down, it's kind of deep.
I didn't even think about it like that. That's beautiful.
Well, if you know, now you have a reason.
That's crazy.
Somebody asked you.
Yeah.
Where do we start here? Because somebody who's so connected to MySpace, it gives you a place to sell your music. It gives you an outlet. It gives you a place to connect with people. It gives you a place to learn from others.
Yeah.
you got the freaking logo behind your ear.
And I tried to get, I sent it to Myspace Tom on Instagram, but he didn't reply.
What?
No
do you think he doesn't use Instagram out of protest because he's jealous?
He uses it. Like I see his like dope photos of like all these like vacations he's taking because he's obviously hella rich from MySpace. Doesn't have the time to reply to his boy who got a tattoo.
You're the only
of his logo.
You're the only person out there still repping MySpace. He should be respecting you.
I rep it so hard. I mean, honestly, those were my favorite days. I could just quit now.
Do you think of those days often? Like being younger and like sending out those
for
sure bulletin messages?
I mean, those were the days that really paved like you know, my identity in the sense that like I was fully obsessed. Like all I did, like I was straight edge in middle school and high school. Like I didn't want to drink or do drugs or anything. I was 0% interested, and all I wanted to do was make music, book shows, beg friends to buy tickets to my shows. My sister drove us on tour once, and we went, because I was living in Pennsylvania at the time. We went all the way from like Pennsylvania over into like Tennessee, and then we went down south to like Georgia and Florida, and we would play like through MySpace. I would book these like birthday party shows and stuff like that, and I would show up with an acoustic guitar, and my friend would bring his cajon, and we'd play songs for like, we were like 15. We were playing songs for somebody's like 15, whatever, like 15. It's crazy. It's just crazy time. So that was basically kind of what inspired me, like, you know, especially me being an independent artist and not being signed to a major label. I think there was like that spirit of like having control and like doing things my own way, and like wanted to kind of have that sense of my own identity, not tied to something major, I guess. Which,
by the way, is a path that the internet has to give you, because usually what you rely on a label for is infrastructure, and it's getting out there to the people, but the internet puts that all at your fingertips. So
100%.
If you have grind and you have hustle and relatives that are down to drive your underage ass, which same thing, you know, my parents were driving me to freaking red carpets and interviews when I was 15, then I booked over the internet.
That's so crazy.
Same exact
what was that like?
Weird, because I took every interview that somebody would give me, and I did every different type of event. And some days my parents would drop me off at like a fancy red carpet, and the other day they would drop me off at some random venue in Long Island called the Crazy Donkey, or it'd be some like random club in the Bronx. It did, like, it was always different. It was cool.
That's sick though.
But the internet, man, which brings me to drugs in the internet.
Yes.
Where do we start? Like, one of the first lyrics here is you're recognizing the fact that you've given up so much for a whole new life, right? What does the internet mean to you today?
Oh, man. Well, so, I mean, what I can say is, like, I wrote the song when I was coming from a time where I was, I didn't really realize it yet, but I was depressed, and I was feeling really empty. And, like, I think, like, the only things that, like, satisfied me at that time were things like drinking, like, drugs, nothing crazy, or like getting validation from people online. Like those are the only things that like made my brain like have any type of happiness or like relief from like anxiety in some weird way. And so it was like, I think it's really easy to become addicted to this whole like this cycle of self-validation and becoming obsessed with like how you're going to present yourself and how like the most people are going to respond to a caption or to like your photo. And it's so sad. Like when you actually talk about it, it's so sad, but at the same time it's so funny, because if you think about it, it's like, what are we doing? Like what am I doing? Like, you know, and I think other people can relate to that. And I was just sort of like, I wrote the song kind of like making fun of myself, but it's also like it flew out of me like so fast. Like it was one of the first songs I wrote for the How I'm Feeling project, and it was just at a piano with my friends, and it was just like every lyric just flew out.
It needed to happen.
It needed to happen very much. It needed to happen for me. And it was just like such a big shift for me, because it's like I had all, you know, I met you when I was 18, was all about like one girl, one relationship. And like that was like everything to me. But I sort of feel like, you know, my life has changed a lot. And it's like I'm not going to be stuck in that same place. And I'm not going to expect myself to be.
I want to dive in and start from the beginning, because you mentioned you were in a phase of your life. You were in a funk post all of this success, post a world tour, post hit singles, post album sales. That like, dude, that kid hawking his music on MySpace, you dreamed of that moment. You dreamed of all of that success. But I don't think you expected what was happening after it.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely not. I mean, and I think for the longest time, because basically in my period of like really being in a funk, I was just essentially feeling guilty for every single thing that I did, and you know, big or small, and constantly finding ways to punish myself. And I would just wake up and be super anxious. And at the worst of it, I was just like literally glued to my bed all day, like journaling about like whatever has happened in my life, and like I don't know, it was really weird. And I couldn't even do as much as have a conversation with somebody, because I felt like I immediately had to unload everything onto them, because I'm that type of person. But I didn't want to be unloading all this like weird stuff onto like every single person that I met. So I was just isolating myself and talking to my parents and talking to my sisters and my best friends. But what I didn't realize for the longest time, I was like, I have to solve a problem. Like I was looking for a problem. I was questioning every single thing in my life and being like, maybe I should quit music. Maybe this is no longer my actual, like, I don't want to say destiny, but like my purpose in life. Because I was just like, maybe I'm just not, it's just not right anymore. Like maybe I just thought it was right. Maybe I was doing it for the wrong reasons. And I was trying to figure out, you know, how to fix myself. And, you know, some of my friends, well, one of my best friends in particular, was like, you might just be depressed. And I was like, what do you mean? Because it's like people throw that word around so much, like being depressed and having anxiety. I was like, well, yeah, I'm sad, but like, what does that mean? And I talked to my parents, and, you know, my dad is in his mid-20s, became extremely depressed, you know, and had to get on, you know, heavy medication. And it was really hard for my parents' relationship. And being a little kid, like I witnessed some of that. And it was, you know, really hard because he was unable to be emotionally present in those times at all. But I think, and, you know, it runs in my family, like, you know, my sister, like there is stuff that happens. And my parents were like, sometimes it's just chemical, like in your brain, like there is chemically, the right stuff isn't happening. You don't have enough of the right, whatever, neurotransmitters or,
whatever the balance is. It's
and when that's wrong, for whatever reason, if it's genetic or if it's wrong because of things that have happened in your life, or like, it's really hard to get perspective and to like pull yourself out, because your brain is constantly in this low state where you can't look at anything positively. No matter how good, you cannot look at anything positively. And all I could do at that point was try to escape it, you know, by drinking or by getting the high. Because it's like literally the internet, like getting validation is literally like a dopamine, you know, it's a dopamine loop, you know, if you research it. And it's like, that was like the only thing that made me feel good. And eventually I was like, okay, like I've been seeing a therapist. I was like, I need to go see a psychiatrist. I saw a psychiatrist, got on some medication. And within a few weeks, that and therapy, like talking through everything, I finally was like, oh my God, like what I was feeling before was just not rational, like so far from rational. And like, I was like able to like all the music that I started to work on, I was able to start finishing it because I was like, I actually believe in it. I don't feel numb to it. And I started writing a bunch more songs, and I'm rambling here, but yeah, this song needed to happen. And everything that's happened since has needed to happen. So.
Hey, beautiful human, real quick. I want to tell you about Stitch Fix. I hate going shopping. I hate having to find things that match. Stitch Fix totally relieves that stress. They've taken it out of my life because they're my own online personal stylist. Yeah, a real human being somewhere is going to handpick clothes and accessories and shoes that are right for your body, your budget, and your lifestyle. And it's all online. You fill out a really easy survey. It took me like 60 seconds to do it. And then they literally send you the clothes that they think are right for you. It's kind of cool. If you want in, stitchfix.com/ZachSang. That is stitchfix.com/ZachSang. They're going to send you a ton of stuff. You keep and pay for only what you love, and you send back the rest. By the way, always free shipping, always free exchanges, and yeah, like returns. They're always free too. Stitch Fix, they know what they're doing. If you want 25% off when you keep all of your items in the box, go to stitchfix.com/ZachSang. That is stitchfix.com/ZachSang. It's a pretty cool online styling service. And remember, there's a real human being somewhere looking at your body, getting to know you, and picking out clothes just for you. stitchfix.com/ZachSang. Okay, let's get back to this interview. So you started creating music pre all of this, and then you revisit some of those records once you come out of it.
Yeah.
And then, but you mentioned something that you were journaling every day.
Yeah.
How important was it for you to document your feelings and document what's going on in your head?
I think it was the only thing because, well, for me, I've been diagnosed to be like OCD. And for me, I think it was like I have these obsessive thoughts where like I just obsess about one thing over and 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 over. Obviously, I've said that 100 times. It's kind of satisfying to keep saying. And one of the only things that would give me relief was to like kind of write these thoughts out, to just kind of like, it was like kind of like itching something. It was like just felt good to like write it out. So that was kind of what I had to do at that time to give myself that sense of satisfaction.
Do you look back at those notes when it comes time
I haven't
to
looked back at it because, it was just such a weird time. I was in such a bad headspace. I was just, it honestly would probably bring me a lot of stress to look back at it. Cause it's just like, it was just weird.
So
weird times.
When you start writing out of this, are you writing about going through it, or are you writing about looking back at it? Do you get what I'm saying?
Both. Yeah, I've been writing a lot of songs, some of which are written from the perspective that if I can like look back in those memories and kind of the things that I wanted to say, or I started songs in that period of time that some of which are so delusional that I would never put out because they're just so they're just not the way I actually feel, but there was some messed up version of me that felt a certain way. But then I'm also writing songs that are just kind of like reflecting on the change, between that period of time and now and how I feel.
What does that music mean to you and to everything you've been through? Is it healing? Is it...
Definitely. Like I found myself yesterday, I was finishing some songs and then I wrote another song in between, in like 20 minutes in between working on 2 other songs. That was like not even something that I'm experiencing right now, but it was something that I experienced in the past that I never wrote about. And sometimes like that's really satisfying the same way it is satisfying, or I guess not the same way, but just as satisfying as it can be, writing about currently being in love or whatever it is that you're experiencing at that time. So, yeah.
So you're working on like, my math is rough, but like 4 songs yesterday, and then another song just appears to you, but does that come out of nowhere? Or
it literally came out of nowhere. I just picked up the guitar, I played a melody, and then I was just like saying whatever, just started it. And yeah. Sometimes it happens, but I have a lot of days where nothing happens at all, where I just get no songs or like everything feels forced. So I think like I have to get myself into that space where I'm not thinking and I'm just like totally in the moment.
And it all comes.
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
And you have 4 songs to work on in a day.
Yeah.
Is that fun to you?
So fun. I mean, the way I'm writing right now is so much more. I don't want to say this in like an ego way, but like prolific in the sense that it's just writing so many more songs so much faster than any other time in my life. Because I think I'm able to be level-headed in my headspace, and I'm able to feel a lot of happy emotions. Like I've been up and down, but I've had a lot of really, really happy days, weeks recently where I'm able to write from a perspective that I've never been able to write from before. Because I Like Me Better, I wrote that looking back on a relationship that I'd already gotten out of. I didn't write that while I was falling in love. I wrote that after we had broken up. So like now it's like I can write things that I'm feeling right now and that are happy and they're positive. So it's cool.
Which is why you want to just release songs as they're coming.
Yeah. So I want to do that, put out the How I'm Feeling album piece by piece, song by song by song. And then eventually a bunch more songs. Because one, I had kind of sort of promised that I was working on my album last year. And but I was, again, like in such a bad headspace that it was just not productive. So I was like, I don't want to wait a whole nother, however long. Yeah. I want to just start putting the songs out now. And especially because I'm writing so many, I want to make sure I put them out while they still feel relevant to me. So
it's healthy for you, but it's also what the audience demands.
It's fun. It's really fun.
I mean, I've seen with Ariana, right? Like the fact that she did 2 albums in a span of 5 months.
That's just totally next level. Like I don't know how somebody does that. She's the queen. Like it's crazy.
But when you feel it though, and when it's so reflective of your current reality, it feels weird to wait 8 months or a year because it's like you're looking back at this portion of your life that you've grown from.
I know. It's almost just like posting a photo from like whatever.
It's a TBT.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to release music as a TBT. You want to release it as like the same way you would post a photo today, where you're like, this is my day. I think that's kind of like the world we live in now.
That's MySpace, bro. That's the internet.
It's MySpace. Honestly, it is though. That was how MySpace was. Post a bulletin, exactly.
Let them know.
Exactly.
Okay, so you write Drugs in the Internet with John Bellion and Michael Pollock. I mean, Michael Pollock has been your person.
Yeah, he's been one of my best friends for a long time.
Did he do your first record with you? Because he's from New York too, right?
We met in New York, but he was going to school at Vanderbilt. It was him and then Michael Matosic are my 2 guys. Those are like my guys. Like
Michaels.
The 2 Michaels. They're my best friends, and we write so many songs together. I wrote I Like Me Better with Matosic, just me and him. And all 3 of us write a bunch. But yeah, so it was us and then Bellion came in on the production, and that was super sick because I've been a fan of Bellion for a long time. Like before I put out my first music, like I looked up to him and I would like listen to all of his stuff, and I was like, I want to do the kind of thing he does, being a songwriter, producer, singer, you know? And Pollock had actually written something else with Bellion, and I was kind of secretly jealous, and I hadn't actually met him yet. And he, a few days ago, had been like, before that, had asked me for the stems to Drugs and the Internet, just like, you know, like the vocals and the rough production I had started working on. And I was like, cool, whatever. And he'd been trying to get some producers to work on it. And then me and him were chilling one night, and this is in the middle of me being like in kind of like that weird funky stage. And he gets a FaceTime from Bellion, and he picks it up, and I guess he's assuming it's going to be about something else, and I'm just kind of chilling there. And he walks to the other room, and he comes back, and it's Bellion freaking out about Drugs and the Internet. And I was like, wait, how did he get this song? Like, how did he get it? And he freaked out. Pollock put me on the phone with him, and he was like, bro, it would be such an honor to work on this song. And I was like, I didn't even know what to say, because it's like, what do you mean it's an it's an honor to like, no, that's crazy. So yeah, then he did his thing on it, and I couldn't be more excited. I mean, he killed it. He killed it.
It's stellar.
Thank you.
It lacks all flaws.
Thank you.
Really a phenomenal record. Is it comforting in that moment to know that you're sharing such a personal story with somebody who you respect? Because a producer's job is a heavy job. He can either throw the record or really heighten and brighten the story.
Well, you know what? I think we've had some conversations since, and I think he's experienced a lot of the same emotions, you know? And I think, you know, we could really relate on the level of, I don't know, like so much of the artist journey, and I think really people's journey too, like, you know, like everybody who uses Instagram and whatever is like spending all this time thinking about how you're going to present yourself, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you do that at all, but
yeah,
it's like you think so much about like something so trivial, but like a lot of people do. And I think, you know, he got exhausted by that whole thing as well. I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but yeah, we definitely related on it. So,
and I don't want to base my actions on reactions or the things they say. And I don't want to hit delete on all the parts of me they might hate.
Yeah.
So now I'm laying in bed and I can't get out of my head. It's all because, and then it continues.
Yeah.
I know that was beautiful reading.
That was great.
But this is so accurate to your life, man.
Yeah.
It's accurate to what you just said. It's accurate to everything we've been talking about.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because I went through this time where I like felt like I was sort of penned in to be this like hopeless romantic boy, where it was all love, all sad, heartbreak, blah blah blah. Like people call me like heartbreak king. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Like no one's ever even actually broken my heart. So yeah, but I sort of felt very penned in to be like this cute this or like whatever. And that was also part of the reason I decided to cut my hair, because I was like, I'm so exhausted of like trying to be this one thing, when really I grew up as like the goofy kid who was like super weird. Like my way of fitting in, because I moved around a lot, was to be the weirdo clown kid who just like, I would impersonate weird voices and like do all. I was never like that cute boy. So
the
I just
suaves.
like no, like it's just not. And I think I honestly got caught up in like trying to present myself a certain way that I sort of got boxed into. And I was like, I don't want to like base what I do on the way that people might respond to it. You know what I mean? Like that's like you're literally altering your identity for the acceptance of other people. Which is not, it's just so not cool. Like it's easy to do. It's really easy to do because you can fake whatever version of yourself, you know?
Society made a mold. They created this whole idea of you based on the records that you put out there, when the reality was you were somebody totally different.
Yeah.
Were there people in your life forcing you in that direction or trying to squeeze you into a mold?
And the thing is, like, it's not that I was totally a different person, but it's more so like I was really playing up one aspect of my personality only, you know? Like I have always been like a romantic person, and like I've always, like the music I put out was very like accurate to the person that I was at that time, but I think I was afraid to let in any of my like actual weirdness.
Yeah,
you know, I didn't want to be like a weirdo, because I was like, people aren't going to like that. And I'm like, I don't know. And then slowly but surely, I'm like, oh, wow, like people really like when I do this, or they like when I do that.
Oh my God, they like you for you?
And it's like, what?
They like you for you? They like you for your painted fingernails and
I don't know. No, I don't know. I mean, yeah, who knows? But I'm just going to do it regardless, because that's the only way that I'm going to be able to like be happy with myself. So
it's by being yourself.
Yeah.
Is that why you made a second Instagram account?
Yes. Yes. I made not Lauv, so I could just stop posting. And the thing is, I still post the same stuff, but like I guess I really need attention because I make these like dumb videos that don't even make sense. Like, do you guys watch Tim and Eric?
Yes.
That's my sense of humor, and I do like that kind of vibe on my alternate.
So just
Instagram
uncomfortable.
account. It's so uncomfortable.
It really is.
It's so uncomfortable.
I was gonna say, do you plan those videos, or does that just come to you?
I usually just like, if I'm in the mood, I just pick up my camera and I just like go, and sometimes they work and sometimes they really don't work, and sometimes I still post the ones that really don't work.
Because they're the ones that really work.
Yeah, I don't even know. Sometimes I can't even tell, but yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
But there's this quest of just being 100% you.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point does not Lauv become
Well,
Lauv?
no, I thought about that, but I think at the same time, it's like people are there to hear my music, and I think like if I distract with like all of this really avant-garde humor that nobody gets, they start to be like, okay, like I didn't come here for this, which I get, I respect. I once read in like this like Justin Timberlake book, I forget if it was like an autobiography or what, where he talks about, he's like, I'm interested in connecting with the audience, not going up there like Andy Kaufman style and like alienating them and making them feel super weird just because like I'm here to make that, because that's a beautiful feeling is when humans connect. So like I was like, oh, you know what? That's cool. Like there can be a balance where like I do what I know people will connect with me for. And then I can also get all my weirdness out sometimes, on my main Instagram. Sounds like such a niche like topic. Or sometimes, on my other Instagram.
Well, you're a student of music, though. The fact that you were able to quote a Justin Timberlake autobiography or whatever it was.
My aunt just got me the book once and I just read it. I'm not even that. Like, I don't read. I barely read. I never read.
Was that the last book you read?
Probably, actually, yeah. And it was a lot of photos, so. Yeah.
This record, Drugs and the Internet, what lyric starts it?
The first, Another Life, Another Story. She walked out, said I was boring. That started it. And that's honestly like a fantasy story. That was just like fantasy, like I don't know, like, you also go through the phase of like empty hookups and stuff and like all these things to try to make you feel like whole, when none of that ever makes you feel whole, ever.
But you think it does.
You think it does, yeah, you think it'd be a distraction. But like someone like me, like I actually like, it's like I don't even actually enjoy it. And, and so I'm like way beyond that in my life, way beyond that. But yeah.
But did it take you a moment to get there?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you want something more in a relationship.
Yeah. And now I'm like really happy in a relationship and really in love. So I'm happy.
Are you?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Love
you.
is love.
Yeah.
But this album, how much are we done? And when are we going to get the next crop of songs? Because
yeah, I probably have about 40 songs right now that I'm choosing from. I mean, they're obviously not all going to make the album, and I'm trying to figure out which ones like fit together, but I'm still writing more and more every day. So I can't say exactly like, when the whole thing is coming, but I'm going to be releasing song after song after song throughout this year. So there's going to be a much like steadier flow.
And like, what is the timeline between the life lived and the song being released?
Some of them are going to be super, super immediate. Like, I just wrote a song about my favorite bar, and I'm like, maybe I'll put that song out next. I don't know.
Where's your favorite bar?
It's called El Tejano.
Is that here?
It's in North Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm about to blow up the spot on El Tejano. It's just like a super non-LA bar. It's the best. It's like, you can get margaritas the size of your head.
Dude, it's like a Mexican restaurant with like, they have good chips.
And they have cornhole and like, it's just fun. It's not like anything stuffy. It's so chill.
And it's a good price.
It's amazing.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good bar. So
Yeah.
You wrote a song about it.
Exactly. I'm hoping I'll get free margaritas for life.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
I hope for you.
Yeah,
And then
thank
I'll
you.
come with you.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so you want to release that song.
Yeah.
But like, Drugs and the Internet, when was this song done?
That song, well, so I originally wrote it some point mid last summer, but then I sat on it forever. I didn't work on it at all. I always loved it, but I was like, I don't have the energy to finish a song. I don't believe in myself. Like, I don't know. And then about February, I think, I started to kick up again. And that was when I started to feel better, like January, February. And that's like everything just started happening. Just finished it, got on with Belly on, like did this, like worked on the production, shot the music video, shot the vertical video, shot the acoustic video, like all this stuff. And Yeah.
Did you add lyrics? Did you change anything from February to Midsummer?
None of the lyrics were changed. I recorded the real strings recently. That was fun.
Cool.
There's like some real live strings. Not that anybody really cares, but
I do. I think there's a shortage of live instruments in
Let's
music
go.
today.
Thank you.
It's really sick.
Thank you.
Pisses me off. Really. Congratulations, you just got a house.
Oh, thank you.
It's a big deal.
Thank you. Yeah, it's crazy. I did not ever, that's such a blessing. Like I would not ever expect that to happen at being 24. So it's crazy. And it has a studio in it. So I'm really excited about that.
Can't be
I don't
with the
ever have to
stick.
leave.
No.
All I got to do is just make music in the house.
That's like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Weeks
I
can
guess
go
so.
by.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, I have to leave. I'm not that type of person. I can't just like sit in the room. I have to go. Plus, I have my dog, so I have to walk him. So
That's the reason. And
Billy.
El Tejano.
And El Tejano, exactly.
What are you thinking?
You posted earlier about people missing the old Lauv.
I knew you'd bring this up,
Oh,
Daniel.
Of
yeah.
course. What is the old Lauv?
I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people miss my old hair. I see a lot of comments that are like, "Bring your guac curls back," because I one time called them guac curls. Because I don't even know. I don't remember why, but I think it was like they looked like they could scoop guac or something. And I think like people are like, I think they expect like all these like hopeless romantic songs, and
That's it.
yeah, and I'm like, that stuff's still there. You can go listen to it, but I'm going to do my thing. Like I owe that to myself and the world to not be a repeat version of myself that I'm no longer.
But that's not life, right? Like,
Yeah, life doesn't work like that.
No, you evolve, you change, you grow.
Yeah.
So, this moment to the beginning of your journey, what's the biggest change you've noticed in yourself?
I think I've actually started to gain actual confidence and like from a grounded place. Like I used to feel like confidence meant egotistical or like, what's the word for it? Like, was like that confidence was always overbearing. But I think finally after going through all this stuff, I was like, I can actually own the things that I really feel and not be afraid to do that. I mean, I'm still not super, super confident, but I finally feel like I've kind of gotten a grasp of that. I think that was one of the most important things and to be able to like have the confidence to be myself fully. Because I think before I started releasing music as Lauv and I was trying to be a songwriter, I would sit in my bed and conceptualize everything for hours. Like I would write out all these ideas, like how I would spend all of this time being like, how do I want to like tease this song is going to come out? How do I want to like make this art? And it was so contrived and because I was so scared of just doing what I actually wanted to do that I thought that I had to calculate it so much. And, luckily I still had some success, people like connected with the music and so on and so forth. But now I feel way more comfortable just doing my thing like kind of on the fly and just being like, this is what I feel like doing. This is what we're going to do. And I think I feel super grateful for that.
And that's special.
Yeah.
That's special for you, but I also think it's special for the people who really love your music and love you for the music you've made, not based on who you were then, but for the quality of the records you've put out there. And that love the stories you're telling. Yeah. You want the stories to be real and you want them to be authentic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm pumped for this album and I'm pumped for this entire new chapter.
Thank you.
It's really special stuff, dude.
I'm super stoked.
This album, you consider this your debut album?
Yeah, I would say that. Just because I Met You When I Was 18 was so scattered and over such a long period of time.
But then you kind of say this album's going to be over a long period of time?
Not as long. It's still going to be like the big difference was like I Met You When I Was 18 like half the songs were already out before I even called it I Met You When I Was 18. Then I just reformatted it and was like, now it's I Met You When I Was 18 and here's some more songs. This one is like Drugs and the Internet is the first song and the rest of it's going to come, throughout this year.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't even know. I mean, I can call it whatever, debut album, whatever it's called doesn't really matter that much to me. Of course, my managers love the concept of saying debut album so that press will pick it up.
Well, it worked.
Yeah, but like I'm just like, here's my music now. Here this song is. You like songs?
That's the commercial.
I got a couple tunas for you.
It's Tim and Eric.
Let's go.
It's so Tim and Eric.
Are you doing your visuals? You take lead on all that?
Yeah, I work also with a really brilliant team that I've been really fortunate to find.
They're sick.
2 people who are really incredible, Joe Perez and Jenna Marsh, who are really, really, really incredible. So I spend time with them, kind of conceptualizing things.
The pink, your outfits, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
The paint, the 90s vibe. I with it.
But you're still sticking with blue.
Yeah, I mean, always. I mean, there's always going to be blue's my favorite color. It's always going to be like a big part of my thing. But Yeah, that video was so fun to shoot, by the way. The Drugs and the Internet video was so fun to shoot.
How does that, like, how are you on set? Like, do you just get lost in the role you have to play, or are you there making sure that, like, if you need to change things, like, what is it?
I was very, because I really trust Jenna, who directed it. Like, I trust her so much. I could tell that everything was under control, and I saw some of the shots, and I was like, this is brilliant. Like, it's great. So I kind of just was like, I'm going to, do my thing. And it was really like I had no idea how I was going to go going in, but I felt really confident at the end of it. I was like, wow, I really felt like I think it's just because the song is so authentic to me, like that's the other thing I've realized through all this time is I can tell like certain of my songs, even the way I perform them or the way, it's like when they're not as authentic to you, it's just not the same. And you can't be the same. You can't have as much soul in the way you move and the way you do anything. So like it feels really good that all of these new songs I'm working on, like when I'm working in the studio, I can already imagine the way I'll be in the music video. I can imagine the way I'll be on stage. Like they feel so just like this is actually me. Like this is really actually me. So
it's not a role.
No, not a role.
I'm gonna say
everything in life is a role. But
in the music video, you kind of have like the I'm the real Slim Shady music video like angle.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
With like that fisheye over top.
That was so fun.
Was it?
Yeah.
It looks so cool.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Sorry, I'm just like clicking through it.
No, you're good.
And I was watching it. I was like,
we should talk about the hairless cats. No, I'm just kidding. Those were tight though.
They look really scary, like naked mole rat type deals.
They're cute though, and they were sweet.
But you have to bathe them a lot. Would you own one?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would own one. Maybe. I definitely want a cat. I mean, I'm handling Billy right now, and that's a lot because he's like 5 months old and crazy.
Oh, he's a puppy.
He's a puppy, and he's a little Pomeranian, so he's got a lot of energy.
I really want a dog, but I'm having this moral conflict of adopting a dog and buying a dog.
Yes. I think that's a very valid conflict. I mean, I definitely had that. I did end up, I'm not going to front. I did not end up buying Billy and not adopting. And I definitely, it's like, of course, the better thing is to adopt. So
but
I have no excuse.
The way I look at it is that all dogs need homes.
That's true. That's true.
Like what? The poor dogs that they don't choose to be born into a breeder.
That's true.
That's
also really true. And at the end of the day, you do have to, like, if there's a reason you want to buy a dog, like because you're obsessed with a certain breed.
Yes.
I feel like you also really can't knock that because like at the end of the day, like what's going to give the dog the best life is doing something that makes you the happiest. You know what I mean? So like if you're making a decision you feel really happy about, you're going to take amazing care of that dog. And that's not an excuse not to adopt, but if you feel very passionately that you need a certain breed, like maybe don't buy 100, maybe buy one and then adopt a couple dogs.
That's it. It's going to come through in my love and care for them.
Let's go.
And that's what I've been saying in my own head. If I buy a dog, next one I'll adopt.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I'll send you a photo of the dog.
Yes.
Final thoughts?
No, I'm just clicking around. Did a Sully actually inspire the hair? Or did you notice that afterwards?
I noticed that afterwards. I definitely noticed that afterwards.
It does look like Sully.
Yeah.
Monsters Inc.
Oh man.
Don't leave it out. No. If they need a song or a guest appearance.
That would be sick.
Speak it.
You know what? I did want to compliment you on your chest hair.
Oh, thank you.
You rock it.
Thank you.
You have great chest hair.
When I was younger, I shaved it a couple times. That was weird. That was so weird.
But did you shave it because you were ashamed of it?
Yeah. I was like maybe I would be cuter with
hairless,
but it felt so wrong. Also this is going to sound gross, but like trying to shave around your nipples, it's dangerous territory. That's dangerous territory. Yeah.
On that note, don't shave around your nipples.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Lauv, everybody! Oh, he also did a song with Troye Sivan.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm so tired.
Go stream I'm So Tired and Drugs on the Internet. Bye.
I really hope you enjoyed that conversation. If you did, please subscribe and also check out our podcast. There's a link in the description, and also comment and like and do things. Other interviews are on the screen somewhere, so click them. Thanks for watching.